Okay, so it's expensive to date women. It's the only thought I have going into this. It's more expensive to date women than it is to date men. I don't know why that is, but it's true. For me, at least, women, I tend to want to buy things for because I'm that kind of a person. And men, when they're into me, I don't ever have to buy shit for them because, like, they're just giving me shit. Like, I think this is just like the nature of the relationship. Maybe with other women, I'm kind of a dude. I don't know. I'm kind of like a weird masculine kind of lady in some ways, but like I used to be a man, so I think that's kind of okay. Uh, I don't know. Women with vaginas in particular get real expensive. One of the things I loved about Dakota was that basically she was so similar to me that everything that I would ever spend money on, she was cool with too. And what we ended up doing was just throwing all of our money together, and then we would. She had me spend her money basically, and it was, I'm just gonna stay here with you and do whatever this week. So here's my money that I was gonna spend this week, and I figure I'll come out ahead in that deal. Like, I don't know. You want to have me fall in love with a woman? That's a quick way to do it. She was kind of right. Like, it was one of those things. Like, she was going to walk away probably several $100s to the better. But it was nice that she recognized that she could pitch in or some shit. Like, I love her still. Like, I still love that about her. But with men, every time I've ever dated men, it's like they don't feel like they are good enough, even when they're dating a trans woman, and therefore they try to buy your affections. Either that, or maybe they're just like me and they like buying people shit. A little bit of that. There's also the point of, like, if I'm buying things for a girl, they're most decidedly to my advantage. I buy women something that I intend to use with them. I'm that kind of a girl. You know, when you give a woman like $300, she can do whatever she wants. When you give a woman like $1,000 worth of dildos and lingerie, it's a very specific message. I like those kind of girls. I'm weird. Like, this is where there's probably some like little freaky straight lesbian-y chick that would just fucking love to be with me. But you know what? They also like to have a power dynamic in a relationship that I don't like. And they also like to spend all your money. That's the real thing with women with vaginas is it's never enough. With Dakota, it was enough. All that I had was enough for her. I've never experienced that with a woman with a vagina. Basically, in my opinion, most of them that are actually looking to be in a relationship with anyone are financial leeches. That's why they're expensive to date. And, like, to some extent, this is the nature of having a vagina. It gets to be expensive. And, like, this is another thing, is like, I think a lot of guys realize that, hey, I'm showing up looking like a hoe bag for you with no body hair on my body whatsoever, smelling good, looking good, having makeup on, wearing heels, yada, yada, yada. You should probably pay for that. And I don't mean like as in a hooker thing or whatever, but like if some girl's showing up like that, you should feed her dinner and give her gifts. If not, just take a big handful of cash and shove it in her bag. That's a keeper. A lot of girls aren't going to do that shit. Like, you should get that all that makeup and all those clothes, it's all expensive. And she doesn't buy that shit because she likes it. Well, that's not entirely true. There's a couple of items I own specifically because I like them, but like the vast majority of it is, I think this will make me look hot to a man. So like, in reality, I think lingerie should be a thing bought by men. Which really, like, it is. And like, this is the beautiful thing is, there are women who buy lingerie for themselves. I am one of those. But, like, there's a lot of stripper hooker lesbians that are fucking buying their own lingerie. But in general, like, men buy lingerie, I think, for this reason. Like, they know what they want to see. And, like, most girls are more than happy to play dress up, by the way, in case you ever... most of you listen to this are dudes. If you're like, man, how do you get a girl to do that? It's very simple. You buy them fucking $2,000 worth of outfits and toys and be like, I thought you looked like you might like this. And if they freak out about it, she's not the one. And then you just box all that shit up and be like, okay, well, get the fuck out. It's like Bogus Charlie. What do you do when you're surrounded by crazy white men? Get the fuck up. Beyond the Law is one of my all-time favorite movies, and I think it's hilarious that Kossoff, the Scotsman from Texas who comments to me a lot on here, knows that movie as well. He like knows several of my all-time favorite movies. I think it's because like similar tastes in actors because of family shit or whatever, and or cultural dynamics. It's interesting to me how well I get along with Scotsmen. Any Scotsman. Pretty much. Even like fucking Ian McCollum and I could go get hot dogs together, which is something that neither one of us could probably say very often. I like ketchup on a chili dog. I'm a weirdo. Like, I didn't realize that this was a Scottish thing really until I thought about it, but like, that's 100% like an English palate thing. Because like, it's not that you hate the taste of hot dog, it's that you love the taste of ketchup that much that you think it improves the hot dog. Anyway, that's an aside. What were we talking about? Oh, the women versus men. I should really date a Scotsman. The sad part is, most of the men that I like are not Scotsmen. I mean, you like what you like. I like African American men because of how they act with me. It's not really a... They also are like usually athletic and hung and fuck like machines. So there's that too. But like there's they treat you like a lady and it's nice and like it's awesome. Versus a lot of other... I don't know. I've been with a lot of guys. Most guys do not treat me the way that they treat me. That's why I tend to like them. Just need to find my rare black Scottish, that's gotta exist, right? Black Scottish guy that's into transsexuals. Also, the Scotsman thing helps because Scotsmen are fucking cheap. And believe it or not, I am cheap. You see me spend money on some things. Everything you ever see me spend money on is probably either a gun, a knife, a tool, or whiskey. Maybe a couple other things. I do have a lot of nice clothes. I'm a girl, but like I don't have crazy expensive shit. I have a bunch of stuff. I have, relatively affordable clothes. Like it's hard. Girl clothes suck. That's one thing you should get. Is basically the pants I wear cost $100. Yeah, and they suck. They don't last anywhere near as long as like a $50 pair of Levi's. And honestly, I have a pair of those I started wearing the other day, and I'm gonna be wearing more of. So I'm thinking of making those like combat pants, just because they hold up so much better. Cat, what are you doing? Idiot. He wanted the window open. Anyway, men and women dating, whatever, money. It's an interesting thing to me that most men will flat out just pay for shit for a woman. It's kind of just how our whole society is organized, and like no one wants to talk about that. And this is where like, oh, it's not like that. It pretty much is. You can have any kind of woman you want, provided you are willing to provide her with the lifestyle that she wishes to have, and or be gorgeous, and or have a lot of money. Like, the thing you ought to get is no matter what, you have to have the money. In fact, the looks really don't matter. Like, if you want to have one hot chick that loves you forever or whatever, and you have babies, might help with that. But as far as, like, having a stable of fucking hoes to bang, nope. Like, some of, like, the richest fucks I know have, like, the tiniest dicks in the world and are, like, trolls. It's funny. Oh. That's why, like, I think a lot of people, like, look down on hookers and the oldest profession. My view of it is, honey, every woman on earth is a hooker. Every woman on earth takes money from some sort of man at some point that they're having sex with. Like, you can fucking put a lot of fucking, like, bows on that shit or whatever. It's the same deal. Girls like getting stuff. You should get that too. Like, I think it's the nature of being a cum receptacle or something. Like, I like getting things. I like getting cum, and I like getting presents. I don't know. I'm not alone in that. I know that. Not alone in either one of those. This is where, like, this is really odd for a man. Believe it or not, for women, it's kind of, 60-40. The majority of women, like men, like cum. There is, like, this, like, social taboo, whatever, in the United States about it or whatever, but, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, like, a very particular kind of woman. It's the thing I keep coming back to is that, like, I got shit the other day from a trans girl on Grindr because I didn't wear makeup. I'm like, you look like a foot. No amount of makeup fixes that. And I hate to tell her that, but that's kind of the truth. Like, I'm not God's gift to beauty or whatever, but for a trans girl, I look pretty feminine. I think it has to do with the whole genetic disorder thing. Like, I basically grew out my hair a little bit and started dressing differently and started having guys following me around stores. I don't think that's everyone's experience with the whole trans deal. Hormones have just made that even fucking worse, to be honest. I was already pretty feminine, and I'm taking blockers and a bunch of herbal shit, and making me way more femme. Which, to be honest, I love. I say worse. Like, uh, depends entirely on your point of view, eh? Anyway, it's funny to me to get shit about makeup from someone that probably needs surgeries. I don't like wearing makeup because basically I vape, so my lipstick is just going to get trashed. I have glasses on, and when I'm out in public, I usually have sunglasses on. And when I don't, I have my regular glasses on. Like, I'm kind of a nerdy chick, and, you know, I occasionally wear some makeup. I own makeup. But I'm also of the opinion that when a lady wears makeup all the time, it's kind of a thing you have to start doing all the time because your face starts to not get any sun. And, like, I don't get that much sun to begin with, but what I do get, I like on my face. And that actually makes your complexion better and makes you need less makeup. This is one of those, like, do you want to listen to fucking whores or do you want to fucking, listen to great grandma that was married for 80 years? Up to you. I'm not a makeup fan. Great grandma said that basically you can either start paying the money for makeup and never stop, or you can just learn to live without it and be hot. Like, I don't know, my great grandma was something else. She was born in like the 1920s and was married during World War II to my great grandfather, who was in the Navy at the time, and went on to work for an oil company. She was like a 1950s housewife. That woman basically never worked a day in her life. And she never wore makeup. When I say she never worked a day in her life, I mean like at a job type job. Like the stuff that she did at home is why she didn't think it was worth putting makeup on for. Kind of the same shit as me, to be honest. She wasn't doing carpentry work and blacksmithing and whatever and gun projects, but she was baking and cooking and cleaning a house and whatever, and like she didn't have time for makeup. If she did, she threw on some lipstick. I don't know. I think it's kind of a waste of money too. So it's all in all, like, fuck makeup. Also, I'm kind of like this weirdo, so I do my own thing. I do think that for a girl that likes makeup, especially, there's nothing wrong with it. And if they're going to be doing it for you, you should get how much money that is. So you're probably going to have to support that habit at some point. And she'll notice that. Girls like it when you buy them shit like makeup and clothes. In case you didn't know that. You know, like, there's a whole bunch of modern society, I think, where basically men and women stopped talking somewhere in middle school. Maybe elementary school, even. And it's causing a division in our society that it's only getting worse as times go on, basically. This, like, fundamental misunderstanding between men and women in the United States is what's causing a lot of our issues, I think. I think a lot of the country wouldn't be crazy, crazy left or crazy, crazy right if they would just go fuck each other and get it over with. So I should title this, just go fuck each other and get it over with. That was the thing with Dakota. Like, she and I had basically opposite political views, but we respected each other enough to fucking have a discussion about shit. And eventually one of us would make the other one mad. And at the point that one of us got mad, usually I just made things sexual. And she never didn't like that. So, you know, you do what you want to do. Some people like to fight until they have sex, I guess. But, like, you should get that our version of fighting was, okay, I'm kind of a Scotsman and she's kind of an English bitch, and, like, our version of fighting was, well, I disagree. How can you disagree with that? I don't know. I just did. Want to fuck about it? It's like this very polite, like, we never even scream at each other. I don't think I ever raised my voice to that woman, ever. Which, for me, is a fucking accomplishment. I get loud. Especially when I'm, like, having fun in a group in a really loud room. I can be louder than most people. And sometimes I take that to my advantage or whatever. And, like, I don't even think about it when I do it. I just, like, oh, I want you to hear the thing that I want to say. I want you to hear it so bad that I can make everyone in this room hear it. And I, like, you know, when you have that, like, voice of fucking Sauron or whatever ability, maybe you should watch that shit. Like, go watch The Lord of the Rings when Gandalf's talking to Bilbo about the ring and the room grows all dark. Yeah. You shouldn't do that just to get someone's attention. Anywho. Men, women troubles. Like, honestly, that's like a third of this show is dedicated to men, women troubles. And I think a lot of you probably don't understand that, but, like, it's the void I see in the gun community. And it's what I fucking think about and talk about all the time anyway, so why the fuck not? I'm like a mix between, like, some dating doctor and that, like, sex doctor from late night TV for the gun community. Sorry, I burped. I've been smoking and drinking a margarita. And talking to you for fucking better part of 30 minutes. Which, really counting the other two videos, is more like an hour. I don't know. I like talking about some things. Like doing this here, I really have no fucking idea what I was going to go and talking about. Sometimes those turn out great. Sometimes not so much. I just had one the other day that did pretty fucking good, though. I forget what it was. I did a rant yesterday about some dude on Instagram that said I was an anti-American because I said "Death to America" in this greater context of this shit, and like, I yeah, I don't even want to go there. Go watch that. It's a couple videos back. It's "Death to America" and somebody 762 something. I stand by everything I said in that fucking video. It's one of the better videos I've ever made. I'll see you guys later.